Are now happy to be joined by Glen Turner Jr. and Wayne McCombs, a couple of friends we met on the bus trip recently with the Buckley Tours. How are you guys?
Doing well. Doing well.
Glad to be here, Todd.
Well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. I think I want to start with just how you guys met and how long you've known each other.
Well, we met at a baseball park. You wouldn't believe that, but we met at that time, the Tulsa Oilers were the AAA farm club of the St. Louis Cardinals. This was in 1974, and we've been pals ever since.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the general manager of the team, John Wallenstein, told me, he came down to my box seats and he said, "There's a guy I want you to meet because I think you guys will get along." And here we are, how many years later, man, going everywhere together.
Yep, had a good time.
So was it just you two, or did you have like brothers or friends you hung out with also? Or was it just you two the whole time?
We added friends that we went along. The clubhouse guy down in Texas, we added him. Well, I knew him before Wayne. I knew him in 1973.
Oh, wow.
So I actually knew him a year before I knew Wayne.
He was what?
12 years old.
12 years old when we met him.
And now he's 59.
Well,
so
have you always had the? Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's great to have friendships that long.
Yeah.
Did you guys play all kinds of sports, or was it always baseball?
Go ahead, Wayne.
Well, we did play some softball, fast pitch and slow pitch softball together.
That was me.
Not too much. Glenn, I was not married, and Glenn was married and had 2 children, I think, when I'm
3.
Well, eventually you had 3.
Oh, Leslie came later.
Yeah. So he was busy with
2 kids.
2 kids and a wife and a full-time job, and I was single and did other things sometimes.
But my 3rd child come along in 76. Yeah. You were there for that one.
That's right. Right. But I try to accidentally come over when they were having dinner so I could get a meal.
He did too. He did that a lot, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
tell them about the World Series we were watching. You woke the kids up screaming.
Oh, well, that was actually both of us Yankee fans from childhood. And this was in October of 1976 when the Yankees finally were in a playoff to make the World Series. And of course, they were playing Kansas City in 1976.
Nice.
See that?
Yeah. See that, man?
That's good.
Yeah. What's the drink?
Diet Dr. Pepper. That's the only thing I drink, man. Your dad bought me one. It's a Quick Trip or the 7-Eleven in Baltimore, right?
That's right. And a couple of donuts.
That's one of the only good diet drinks, Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Real nice, sketchy place, if I remember correctly.
See, right there. Right there it says Fast Intentions.
Well,
Jacuzzi.
I got one of those.
If they call you or write you, can you send them one of these through the mail?
I will.
Okay, guys.
I'll pay the postage too.
That's your chance. Just message these guys and tell them you want a koozie.
You gotta get one of these fancy LEDs.
Thanks for stumping for us.
You bet.
Still got plenty to give out though.
So you guys are both Yankees fans. Is that part of the reason you guys got along so well? Because you both like the Yankees?
He was born on Roger Maris's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Roger Maris and I share a birthday. So
awesome.
Anyway, that championship game, the final game with the Royals, Chris Chambliss led off the 9th inning with a home run.
Yes.
I was over at Glen's house. All his children had gone to bed. And if you've ever had more than one child in your house trying to go to bed at the same time, you know what an ordeal that is.
Leslie was like 2 months old when he woke them all up.
I was jumping up down in his living room, woke up all the kids. They started yelling. And then Dee, his wife, said, it's time to go home.
She kicked him out.
She kicked me out.
Well, I'll tell you this, your kids would have slept soundly with me because I was moping around and
I understand.
I wasn't saying very much at all.
Yeah, you and Freddie Patek were crying because Freddie was crying on the bench.
Yeah.
Yes, he
was.
But
those Royal teams of 75 to 81 were excellent teams. And it just seems like the Yankees had their number in those games. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. It always went down to the final inning or two. So yeah,
we loved all those guys. Amos Otis and Dennis Leonard, The whole team, you know, Cookie
Yeah.
Rojas,
Buck Martinez.
John Mayberry,
yeah.
first base.
And
There's a guy named Brett that came up in 75.
Yeah.
Never
74.
heard of him.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
see,
Well, you
we used to-
you guys got good when we gave you Lou Pinella. That's what happened.
We appreciate that.
that's right. Well, hey, Lindy McDaniel did do well for you the 2 years he was there, but again, Pinella did more.
Just 2 years.
Hey,
Yeah.
but see, we knew all those guys because the
From-
AAA
from
Farm Club,
Oklahoma.
the AAA Farm Club for the Royals were in Omaha, and they were in the same league with the Tulsa Oilers. So I remember seeing Brett and those guys in Tulsa and saying, "Wow, these guys are going to be great."
And Lindy McDaniel is from Oklahoma too.
Oh,
Hollis.
okay.
Hollis, Oklahoma. He just passed away about 2 years ago.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So anyway, we've been buddies since then, collected things together, and just enjoyed each other's company and our love for sports and memorabilia.
Yeah. So you guys said you go on a bunch of trips together. What was your first trip? Do you remember?
Was it Kansas City or St. Louis?
We went to the Hall of Fame in 84. We went to
83.
St. Louis.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, Kansas City went in 83 and sent by George Brett by his locker.
Right. We had a friend that was on the team, and
Joe Simpson.
and we got to get a tour of the locker room. And
We got to see his donut signed by all his girlfriends.
yeah, remember George Brett's donut?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we saw it.
We got to see
We
the
saw it.
pine. We saw the pine tar bat too.
That's right.
Well,
Yep.
Joe Simpson only played with the Royals maybe 2 years. He
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
played for quite a few teams, didn't he? If I
Year and a
remember
half,
right.
Yeah.
Now he's still announcing for who? Seattle.
I think it's Seattle. Yeah, good guy.
He played at OU.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
He was
Yeah,
outfitted for Oklahoma
Oh,
University.
sorry.
Yeah.
Now when I want to come up to the Buckley trip. When Nathan and I picked this trip, we had three things we wanted. We wanted to be able to see the Red Sox, the
Yes.
Royals, and we wanted to be able to go to Cooperstown.
Yes.
Why did you guys decide to pick this trip?
because we got to see the Yankees and got to go to Cooperstown.
We got to see the Yankees beat the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium.
Hey, we don't got to start
And
throwing
we got
shots
to
here.
see the Red Sox get beat in Fenway Park.
Well, this is a common
and
theme when you're a Red Sox fan. You
We
can see
got
them
to
lose.
see Kansas City get beat by Baltimore, didn't we?
Yeah, but we didn't like that. We were pulling for
We were for
Kansas
Kansas
City.
City though.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I kind of expected that
Yeah,
performance, but
Yeah, man, this was a shitty trip. What
yeah,
the-
I know for you and me.
For
So that
you
was
guys, but
that
we
was your
loved
only
it.
criteria, just seeing the Yankees?
No. That was our 39th anniversary going to Cooperstown. We first
Yeah.
went there in 1984.
83.
84. We saw Drysdale.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Killebrew,
It was 84.
Pee Wee Reese,
Yeah,
Rick
84.
Farrell. Who was the fifth one? Don Drysdale.
Right.
We saw those guys get inducted.
And we went there a week ahead of time, and
We spent a week there.
and it was great. We
We held Babe Ruth's
Con-
insurance policy that he signed in our hands.
we went
Oh,
we went
wow.
into the library, and the person there, I said, maybe, is it allowable to go through the files? Sure, go ahead.
We could have stole Gary's stuff, and we didn't.
Oh,
we
it's
didn't steal
amazing
anything.
what we found. We found a letter from Boston to Cincinnati in Babe Ruth's file saying, no, we don't want to trade for pitcher Ruth at this time.
Cincinnati had a chance to get Ruth before Boston did.
Mhm.
What year
Or
was
before
that?
the Yankees.
I believe it was
19?
18. Was it 19 or
18 or 19.
Yeah. Anyway, we
Wow.
pulled this letter out saying, thanks for your inquiry about pitcher Ruth. However, at this time,
Same way with Yogi Berra. Bill Terry was the general manager of the Giants, and he tried to buy Yogi from the Yankees for $50,000, and they wouldn't sell him.
Hmm.
So that's why Yogi was a Yankee.
You said Boston.
McComb.
That letter Boston declined.
yeah, Boston declined Cincinnati's offer for Ruth.
Oh, what's his face wasn't broke yet.
So
Yeah. What was the name of that play he was trying to finance?
Oh,
Night the net or
Yeah,
something like
Oh,
that?
no.
no.
Harry Fraser.
yeah,
The guy's Harry Fraser.
no, Nanette.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
yeah.
yeah.
And the guy was Harry Frazee that owned the team.
But
Well, when
lose-
we were in Baltimore, we were across the street from where Babe Ruth's bar was. And then we walked to where he was born, went in his
I
museum.
did not go in to see if there was any memorabilia there.
I did not go in the strip club because Jay said, don't go in there, you'll get killed.
Well, basically, we need to tell the people in 1915, when Ruth was pitching for the Red Sox, they won the World Series. He took his money, which was what, $2,800, $2,900, and bought a bar for his father to own and operate.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
building is still there today. It was across the street from our
It
hotel.
was that strip club over there.
And it's now, well, they call it a show bar.
Joe bar, but it's
Yeah.
a strip club. And Jay Buckley
Buckley.
said, do not go in there because you're liable not to come back out.
But
So we did not.
Well,
did not-
I did see a place up the street called the Hippodrome. They must have really big dancers there.
Maybe that's part of the zoo. I
Oh,
don't know.
maybe.
Yeah.
That was my headphone.
But did you guys go to the Babe Ruth Museum? We did.
Well, we walked after the game. We walked over there to see it, but that's the day we went up to DC, so we didn't get a
That was
chance to see it.
Yeah. Well, we were at the Smokeout the day before in Washington.
Yeah,
Then we got to go to the Phillies game, which was smoked out the night before, the first smokeout ever.
yeah.
Now, interesting thing on that. Well, you were in on the tail end of that. One thing I liked about Jay Buckley, he's a fan and he understands. Like, remember we'd get the game before the gates open.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
that was, we want to get in there as quickly as we can. So
Right.
remember, we were disappointed when we couldn't go into the Phillies game because of this smoke out. And he goes, well, hey, you guys want to go look around the park? How about come back here in 45 minutes? Well, we were ecstatic. We got to at least walk around the park. We did not know we were going to get to come back the next day.
I got a
Well,
question.
hold on. I got a quick
Ruth-
anecdote
Ruth-
for you. Hold on a sec. I got up and actually walked up to the front of the bus and asked Jay if we could get out and walk around before we left.
Thank you.
So we
very
need to
much.
tell you, thank you. All right.
Okay.
Well, because I didn't know if we'd ever get back there,
Right.
So
right.
I thought at least I want to see the stadium and, what
In
have you. So
Washington? In Washington?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, the first night.
Well, we did in Washington. Remember, his friend Bob Carpenter, the color analyst of the Washington Nationals, came out and signed autographs for everybody
Yeah, that was awesome.
and answered questions.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, who did the Boston play, Colorado or Kansas City?
Boston
They played the
Colorado.
Rockies.
Okay, I even got one of the pitchers' autographs there in Boston.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember his name. He's a relief pitcher,
For Boston or for Colorado?
Colorado.
Hmm.
Who would want a
If I know
Boston
that
Red
bullpen.
Sox?
Oh, well, we wouldn't care about that here. So,
Yeah.
but hey, Glenn, I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah.
We got to know you guys real well because you sat behind us on the bus. So
That was meant to be, sir.
And
Yeah.
we annoyed you guys.
it's something fierce. But the most poignant
And I
moment of
didn't.
the whole trip for me was
Oh, somebody's calling me. Let me see
all
who's
right.
calling.
Well,
Here
put your phone
comes
on
Eddie.
silence.
Here comes edit time.
Okay.
We're going to stick with it. We're going to stick with it.
Yeah,
All
they-
right.
I put him.
We're
blew him
leaving
off.
that in. We're leaving it in.
We're leaving it in.
Yeah, I
But
blew
yeah,
him off. I didn't answer it.
Glenn, one of the most poignant moments of the whole trip for me was when we got to Cooperstown
Yes, sir.
and we started to get off the bus. And when I turned around, I could see you were visibly, crying.
I was crying.
And can you explain that and why you were so emotional?
Well, we were there 39 years before, and I was seeing everything as it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting emotional right now about it.
Yeah, I can tell. That's cool.
It's really, we just had a great, the
It was
first
so
time.
nostalgic.
Yeah. The first time we were there, we had a great time.
It was deja vu all over again.
Right. Right. So we were excited about it.
We walked down the street in 84 and said hi to Chubb Feeney. We said hi to George Kell. We went in the Oneonta Hotel or whatever's called.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we sat there and talked to Burley Grimes. We talked to Roy Campanella. We talked to Joe Sewell. We talked to
Yeah. We
Pee
actually,
Wee Reese. We talked to Cool Papa Bell. We talked to,
Oh,
Happy
cool. Papa Bell
Twitter.
was there.
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Named from the
Buck
Negro
Leonard.
Leagues.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bill Terry, the guy that tried to buy Yogi Berra from the Yankees. Bill Terry was there. He's the last National Leaguer to get 400.
Anyway, these guys were sitting there at a table and we thought, well, if we're going to get thrown out, we might as well be having fun. So we sat down there and talked to them.
Hey, we were sitting on the back porch of the hotel after we ate dinner by Roy Campanella and Sewell and Rick Farrell. And Early Wynn was walking by, and there was a guy that hollered at him and said, "Hey, Early, I was at your game when you won your 300th game." You know what he said to him?
What?
Tell him, Wayne.
He said, how do I know that?
And he said he was there too.
Yeah. He said, well, I was there too.
He's a real smart age.
He was not very friendly. And you think if the guy got in the Otesaga Hotel, he was more than just a fan, but
Yeah,
somehow we got in there.
Yeah.
we sneaked in.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
We
I remember
sneaked
hearing a
in.
few stories about you guys sneaking into places or,
We sneaked in and then bought
Most
tickets to the dinner.
most of them are
So when
true.
we went to the door, and we had dinner tickets, they let us back in to go to dinner.
Yep. It was a great time.
You couldn't do that nowadays. There's too much security.
was it the hall like you remembered, or was it different or
Exactly.
bigger or?
Well, it's much
It's
bigger.
much bigger now.
Much
Yeah,
bigger.
they've added on.
Yeah.
All that back part. We stayed, our room was above the dime store next door at the very back. We was the closest you could get to the podium where they do the inductions now.
Back then. Now they're 5 or 6 blocks down the street.
We were 50 feet or 100 feet.
About
from it.
100 feet from the Hall of Fame.
We were up on the second floor looking down at the podium.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, we made friends with one of the, well, I don't know if you call him an usher, or it's kind of usher security guard at the Hall of Fame at that time. And we actually found him again. He's retired now, living in another city. And we actually made contact with him, and he was happy that we remembered him. He was so friendly to us and kind.
Tell him about his son now runs a
Oh,
store there on
yeah.
Main Street.
The guy's name was Don Howard, and his son runs a store there on Main Street in Cooperstown. We got to visit with him when we were there. So
And the same ice cream shop that we ate at every night back in '84 is still there.
yeah,
And
they had little sandwiches and stuff. It was really nice.
they changed a lot of the displays though. I wanted to see the display of the 1915 World Series ball where George Foster, my friend, when I was a kid, signed it with Babe Ruth on it. And they said it was no longer up, that it was stored away.
Oh,
You said the answer to every trivia question, George Foster.
well, we expected a George Foster reference this
He,
pod.
Now,
So-
tell him who George Foster was and how you got in contact with him.
Okay, he pitched from 1913 to 17 with the Boston Red Sox. My uncle and my aunt lived in Pecoshi, Oklahoma, 14 miles from Poto, where I was raised. When I was 16 years old, we went over to visit them, and my uncle Tom said, "Hey, you ever heard of a pitcher named George Foster? Played for the Red Sox?" And I said, "Sure." They said, "Would you like to meet him?" "How can I do that?" He said, "I can take you to his house." So we jumped in his car and went over there. And George told me stories. You know what Babe Ruth did the first time he showed up in Boston in 1915? He went straight to the Cadillac dealer, bought a convertible Cadillac, and drove through the streets of Baltimore or Boston. They thought he was going to kill himself. And Tris Speaker, they called him the Bald Eagle. George said that the reason was because a player would go up and jerk Tris Speaker's hat off his head and show his bald head. Speaker would get so mad that he'd throw a bat and try to kill the player.
Oh, wow.
And Tris Speaker, you know what his favorite game was?
No.
He shot dice
Oh, okay.
for money. George didn't do it though. George pitched the first no-hitter there, June 21st, 1916. He beat the Yankees 2-0. You know what?
At Fenway Park.
At Fenway Park. The first no-hitter at Fenway Park.
Wow.
You know what the Red Sox gave him? $100 bonus. And you know what he gave all of the players? A pocket knife.
Oh,
He
Yeah.
said that on the bus.
did he mention that on bus?
Did I
Okay.
remember all those facts? No, but I remember him talking.
Well, he,
Yeah.
Glen was constantly pulling himself up to our seats and saying, "Todd, Nate, look at this. Look at this. Have
Hey,
you seen
Todd,
this?"
let me tell you
So-
this. Hey, Todd, you know this? Hey,
That's
Todd,
exactly how it was.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nate,
And now you do. See,
I'm still
Yeah.
doing it.
you do.
I
Look
know,
how
right?
much intelligence you've learned.
Okay. Who was the first pitcher to pitch before a president in a World Series game?
Say George Foster.
Say George Foster.
George Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Second game of the 1916
Nathan killing
World
it.
Series.
See, I know my baseball history.
You know your stuff, man. He beat the Phillies 2-1. He got 3 hits. The Phillies got 3 hits.
Mm.
He drove in the winning run in the bottom of the ninth to win the game 2-1 before Woodrow Wilson. And the next year, when they showed up in Washington, George got a note from Woodrow Wilson to come to the White House, and George went over there in the Oval Office and talked baseball with Woodrow Wilson for about 45 minutes, he said. He didn't talk anything. He didn't want to talk any politics, nothing, just talk baseball. So George talked baseball with him.
That's
So
cool.
at that, and also one other thing, and I'll stop saying, but what's the answer? Babe Ruth, they interviewed him about 1934. They asked him who was the best fielding pitcher he ever encountered in his whole career.
George Foster.
That's
That's
right.
correct.
That's
Attaboy.
right.
Hey, good job.
You're on top of things, guys.
Yeah.
You're on top
Attaboy.
of things. Yay.
Hey,
Okay.
Wayne,
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
ask you, when you got to the hall, was there something in particular you were looking forward to seeing, or something you remember from your first trip that you wanted to see again? Or
I just wanted to go to the hall where they have all the plaques on the wall. We spent over an hour
Just taking pictures.
just taking
with the flag.
pictures with the plaques and stuff.
Hey, Todd, I gotta go to the restroom. I'll be back.
Live
You don't-
podcast.
you
right
don't
here,
need to
folks.
share that information. You could just say, I need to take a break, but
I'm taking a break.
He's taking
right.
a break.
This isn't
well,
getting
that's
cut
cool.
out.
But yeah, Wayne, I think one of the coolest things I saw was just the Babe Ruth jersey. You know, they had on display
Yeah.
that glass case along with his
Yeah.
hat. You know,
It's
it's
amazing.
just,
All that stuff is there.
yes.
It's just it's really, if you're a baseball fan at all, it's just I don't know, you get a great feeling of seeing that history that what these guys accomplished, and you see the uniforms and all that. It's just
Yeah.
something that it's a special feeling. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, and it's amazing, like the older stuff, you know, the stuff from the early days of baseball. It's just amazing to me that somebody had the foresight to hold on to that stuff.
Well, to do that,
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
well, baseball, of course, it's the sport that has the most history because it's obviously been around longer, and they started collecting things really before the 30s, and then they decided to have that Hall of Fame, which is an unbelievable place.
yeah.
And and what gets me, Major League Baseball has nothing to do with the Hall of Fame. No money, no anything, and it's just that's amazing to me that they don't, but they seem to be doing well.
Yeah, but
Nice.
I think that gives it some of the nostalgia too. I'm sure if baseball had their
Right.
hand in it, there'd be some kind of guidelines or stuff they would have to follow. And
Yeah. Well, and they probably want to move it to some place where they could get more traffic, and it's
Yeah.
perfect where it is in that little nostalgic town, where you're not
Exactly.
overrun. You're not overrun by cars, and there's not a convenience store or some sort of box store 2 feet from the Hall of Fame. I thought it was funny with you being a postman, and right across the street from the Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame post office. the
yeah,
Cooper
that's
Sta-
first place I went.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
I went with you, Todd. We had
You
our
did.
pictures made on the steps.
You
So-
did. We might have to share that on our Twitter page so
Yeah.
people can
Yeah.
see it. So
But this was my fourth attempt to go on this Buckley bus tour.
Our fourth attempt.
Well, I tried it. I thought, well, for years and years, I've been reading about it and I wanted to go. And so my boys had been giving me Christmas and Father's Day and birthday gifts a little bit along. Says, hey, here's your money for your trip, Dad. Here's your money for your trip. So we were going to go in 2020, and I was all set, paid my $100, and bingo, COVID hit.
Mm.
Boy, that was terrible. So, okay,
Hey, Todd.
we'll go the next year.
Oh, yeah.
21. Well, that's when Major League Baseball wasn't allowing any fans in the stands. Now, how that was going to cure COVID, I don't know, but we didn't get to go then. Then the next year, 22, I was in a huge project at work.
I didn't want to go because I was afraid of catching COVID up there in New York.
So I had a grant that I needed to work on at I worked at the J.M. Davis Arms and Historical Museum, and we needed a new lighting. System. We were still on, fluorescent lighting. And so I got the grant, began to work on that. And if anybody's ever worked on a grant, it is hard.
Mm.
Paperwork out the ears. And so I couldn't leave because I was in the middle of getting that all secure. So I didn't go last year. So this year we went and had a great time. And see, if we'd have gone any other year, we wouldn't have got to meet you two guys.
It got it
Yeah.
right there.
It's funny how it
Touch
works
got it.
out. So yeah, that's awesome.
Touch got it.
Hold on.
Touch got it.
Hold
so
on,
we-
my
Touch got it, so we can see them, the whole, there, see, now we can see their whole screen.
my technical advisor is giving me
Now we can see
advice.
the whole thing. We can just see you, a little bit of you on the left and a little bit of Nate on the right. And now we got it. So
We
now see the whole
apologize
thing.
now. So,
Yeah, no,
Well,
the
that's
view's
us.
worse.
I didn't take it.
View's worse.
well,
Anyway.
since you mentioned the museum, I'll just really quickly congratulate you. I know you just retired, and
Yes, I did.
milestone for you. So congratulations from us.
Thank you. June 30 is when I retired, and so I've been retired 10 days.
Tell them when your party was.
My party was June 27th.
And I was there.
Yeah.
He was there. Glenn was
Well,
there.
I saw it on Facebook. I wish we would have known. We might have called you or sent you a little message or something. But
Lieutenant Governor was there. He's personal close friends with him.
oh, awesome.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so here's some of the here's some of the things I've learned in the last 10 days.
Okay.
Number one, you don't have to go to bed when the 10 o'clock news is over. Number two, I don't have to set my alarm anymore unless I want to. Wagon train comes on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Four.
Well, I don't know about 4, but I like wagon train. And
The podcast come on at 6.
and then sometimes I have to think, is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday? That's a item that pops up from day to day. What day is it? So those are some of the nice things I've learned.
And I've been doing that for almost 5 years now on my own.
Well,
I've been-
I will point out Wayne didn't get close to 10. He only mentioned about 4 or 5 things. So
Well, that's 4. I didn't know that.
That's the 4 big ones.
Well, let me
Oh,
see if
okay.
I can come up with some more.
He can go to the bathroom anytime he wants to.
Oh, okay. Here's one.
okay.
If I get hungry at 10:30, I can have lunch now, and I can take as long as I want. Okay.
Hey, when I go over to the museum to eat with him, he took as long as he wanted to anyway.
That's because
So-
he was the big cheese.
That's right.
Yeah.
He knows the lieutenant
Okay, anything
governor.
you want to ask him?
He knows the lieutenant governor.
And
No,
my
not in
wife,
particular.
my
And,
wife knows the governor because
Oh.
she was in the bunker with it during the storm
We had
Oh.
a storm here on when was it?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
June 26th, I think. June 26th. No, 25th. A windstorm. We had winds over 100 miles an hour, and there was no tornado with it. which was-
500 trees were blown down that the city of Tulsa had to clear out of streets.
Well,
Yeah,
My
actually,
wife was head of she's basically the coordinator of the cleanup. She's got 47 acres designated for people to dump trash, not trash, but limbs and, stuff for them. Go ahead, Todd. Change the
Hey,
question.
Oh, sorry. Can you guys remember who your first autograph was from?
Warren Spahn.
Oh,
June
wow.
6th, June 16th, December 16th, 1960.
Oh, wow. How about you, Wayne?
My first one was in June of 1969. It was Bobby Mercer.
Okay.
Our family had gone up to Kansas City, and my uncle at that time worked for Kansas City Diesel, so he had box seats. So we were right next to the Yankee dugout, and I had a program, and he was warming up. And I said, Mr. Mercer, do you have time to sign this? He says, okay. Put his glove under his arm and came over and signed it. And my father said, hey, we're from Oklahoma. So then he started talking to us more than just signing the autograph, because Mercer was from Oklahoma City. So he was my first one.
And my
That's
Warren
awesome.
Warren Spahn, my dad came home from work and said, there's a pitcher named Warren Spahn giving a little talk at the church in Heavener, Oklahoma. Did I want to go? I said, yeah, Dad, I've got a 59 toss baseball card out here. So we went. And when I asked Warren to sign it, or Mr. Spahn, I said, I want it signed in pencil. And Warren said, you sure you don't want to sign it in ballpoint? Because ballpoint looked better. And you got to remember, I was about 11 or 12 years old. And I said, no, I want it in pencil. He said, okay, son. I still got that card that was signed in pencil.
How come you wanted to sign in pencil?
I thought that would be the best way to get cards signed. That's the only one I have signed in pencil.
Well, I know I got a magazine signed by ex-Husker coach Tom Osborne. And then while I was holding it, my thumb kind of got on it and I kind of smeared it a little bit. So, I mean, yeah,
I've got an Osborne that's
pencil
clear.
could be a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we've been collecting ever since. I thought I'd I like to get Hall of Fame players on Hall of Fame plaques. And here's
Oh.
a couple of my favorites.
Awesome.
Can you see it good enough?
Yeah, that's good.
Stan Musial,
Stan Musial. And then
Stan
another
the
one I like.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah. Hank
There's Hank.
Aaron. That's awesome.
So that's one of the things I like to do.
Hmm.
So
I like to eat donuts, Todd.
Yeah. I know I bought them for you. Do you guys have a favorite player of all time, Yankees or
Yogi
no,
Berra.
or Yogi Berra?
when my first son was born, Glen came over and gave me a 1959 baseball card of Yogi Berra to give to him. So he started my son's collection.
That was my first card, a 59 Yogi Berra, which I still have.
Yeah.
My
So-
second card was a 59 Mantle, which I still have. Mantle's my second favorite player. My third is Babe Ruth, and fourth is Lou Gehrig, and fifth is George Foster. Even though he's a Red Sox, he couldn't help that.
Yeah, I think just what Lou Gehrig went through touched a lot of people. You know, he was a great player, and just to have it go, end that quickly, and just kind of just see
Well,
his
Catfish Hunter had the same disease. He pitched
Yeah.
for the
yeah. So yeah, I'm a big Lou Gehrig fan, even though I'm not much of a Yankee fan. But yeah,
I
his-
didn't bring
his
my Lou
story is
Gehrig
close.
I'll have to come back on sometime and bring Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig's autographs and show them.
Okay.
Yeah, who is your favorite player, by the way? Sorry, I'm not interviewing you.
Well, actually, my favorite Royals player, and I think I told you guys, was Danny Tartabull.
Yeah,
But
you
he
told
only
me that.
he only played for the Royals a couple of years because I think he's mostly known as playing for Seattle
Yankees.
in the Yankees. Because he was on a episode of Seinfeld with George driving around in the
Yeah.
car. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I loved him. He was just a big home run hitter and big muscly guy. I don't know. Something about him. I just thought he was really pretty cool. I mean, everybody will say George Brett, of course, but yeah,
He had a nice looking wife. I saw her one time.
George Brett or Danny Tartabull.
Brett wasn't married to Tartabull.
Oh, okay.
Brett always had a girlfriend with him.
Yeah. Well, I remember watching a Miss America contest, and they were interviewing this one lady, and she goes, "Well, my boyfriend plays baseball." And they said, "Well, will you know him?" She goes, "I don't know." And they said, "What's his name?" He said, "George Brett."
I
we may know.
met a Playboy centerfold that was dating a right fielder in 2001 with the Royals. I won't mention his name, but he didn't like to sign autographs. And after the game, we were talking to her, making friends with her, me and Robert Taylor. We were talking to her. We said, "We'd like to get a card signed by your boyfriend." She said, "I'll get it for you." So when he came out, he came over. She said, "Sign these cards for these two boys." And he signed, and boys, we were 50 or 60 years old, and he signed it anyway. And our two autographs are the only ones that he signed.
Well, that's awesome.
I'm not going to name the player.
I could probably guess in a couple guesses, but I won't. So
He was the left field, 2001.
yeah. Yeah, we speaking of a player's wife, Nathan and I went up to Green Bay a couple years ago to see the Packers at Lambeau, and we stopped at the Field of Dreams. Thank you. Have you guys been to the Field of Dreams? Have you been up to Dyersville?
I have a friend that has.
Yeah, I have not.
I don't want to go because the tickets are so expensive.
Oh,
The
well,
ball game, the least price ticket is $2,000.
yeah, we just went up to see the movie site. I had gone with my ex-wife years ago, Nathan's mom, but it just happened to coincide with the day they had the press conference where Frank Thomas's group had bought the rights to the farm.
Right.
And
right.
so we actually met the original owners of the farm, him and his wife, and he was telling us
You
how
have
he
your
was
picture
born
made with
there.
them?
Yeah, I posted on our Twitter page here a while back.
Oh, great.
But when we were in the gift shop, we ran into this tall, beautiful blonde lady and big rings. And well, it turned out it was Frank Thomas's wife.
Was a ring through her nose or on her
No,
finger?
it was on her finger.
Okay.
So, but she was real nice, and she had her kids with her, and they kept asking for this and that. And there was a shirt there about something about a baseball mom or something. I said, maybe this is the shirt you need to buy. So
Yeah.
You're trying to pick up Frank Thomas's wife.
yeah, definitely. So
Hey, Todd would never do that to any girl. You know better than that thing.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So do you guys have anything less on your baseball bucket list that you want to do or haven't done yet?
I'd like to go to a World Series game at Yankee Stadium, but I think it's going to be a couple more years.
I just want to go this fall. I predicted before the season started that the Rangers are going to win the World Series. So I want to go to the World Series in Texas, in Arlington. Wayne's saying no. I'll bet him $1 if he's up for it. You want to bet $1, Wayne?
I don't remember you saying that before the season started.
Well, I don't care.
When they
You want-
started, when they
Let's
started
bet $1 right now.
on them going to the World Series. All right.
No, yeah, going.
Okay. I'll bet you $1.
Did we have
Okay, you're not saying win. You're saying just going, whether they win or lose.
Mhm.
Okay, you got it.
did we
Yeah, I
have
hope they
Texas
did.
making the
Right.
playoffs?
I
What's
hope
that?
they do.
Did we have Texas making the playoffs?
I don't think so.
I didn't.
I didn't.
I had
either.
them like in the race, but not in
Yeah.
the, I don't even remember who I picked anymore.
Way to
Cardinals
go,
was a
Todd.
crappy pick.
Sorry.
Stephanie.
Nathan.
Nathan. Yeah.
Stephanie.
Boy,
All
he's-
right, girl.
yeah, we know. Um,
Call me Nick again.
Let me ask you this. Who's the most famous person in your contacts on your phone? Who's the most famous person you could pick up your phone and call right now?
You mean other than Glenn?
Wayne McComb.
Okay.
Let's see.
How about Larry Burchard or Bob Sherwood?
That's a pretty good one.
How about Amos Otis?
That's a good one.
That's a good one too.
I've got the Lieutenant Governor of Oklahoma.
That's pretty
I
good.
got,
Are
I
you
got
talking?
Governor Stitz.
Are you just talking baseball players?
Well, yeah.
I
would
heard the
say so.
lieutenant
Well,
governor's good at
baseball. Somebody
retirement
in
parties.
baseball.
Well, hate to say this, but I had George Frazier, the man that just passed a couple of weeks ago.
England's his wife.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I have Bucky Dents and Chris Chambliss.
Yeah.
That's pretty good big names.
Bucky Dent.
Yeah,
I
my
got Wayne McComb.
Sorry,
I wasn't
Sorry.
alive then. It's okay.
that's all right. My
Sorry.
sister used to have Bucky Dent's poster on in her room. So
Yeah,
Hey, Nathaniel, I can't think of a Red Sox player important enough to have in my phone. Hello, Nathan.
I heard you.
So would you guys ever be inclined to try to do another Buckley trip?
oh yeah.
We're going to go probably the Midwest. This
Yeah,
next
we
year.
might. I've never been. I've been to years ago. I went to Wrigley, but that was 1974.
I went to Wrigley in 2001 or 3 and saw David Wells beat Carlos Zambrano.
Zambrano.
And then, yeah, I've been to Comiskey Park and whatever the name of it is now.
America.
Is that it? No,
Yeah.
Comerica is Detroit.
Oh,
U.S. Cellular? Or?
yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I
something like
think
that.
that's whatever.
I can't think of what it's called now.
I was there 3 years ago, the last time I was there.
In St. Louis, I've been to 3 different parks they played in: Sportsman's Park, Busch Stadium, and now the new one.
We were at Old Bush, but I think Nathan was pretty young when we went that time.
No, I
I
don't
went
remember
to
it.
Sportsman's Park before that in '63 and saw Stan Musial play.
What was Ebbets Field like there, Glenn?
I didn't go to Ebbets Field, sir.
Oh, sorry,
know-
Forbes Field.
I didn't go to there either. We know a player from Oklahoma named Jim Gentile that's one of the last 4 players alive that played at Ebbets Field. And another one lives in Oklahoma City, Bobby Morgan.
Oh, you guys have had a lot You guys have had a lot of players come through Oklahoma there, haven't you?
Yeah,
Well,
for a small state population wise, a good percentage had been here. Of course, a lot of times they played minor league ball here. We count those.
Sure.
Well, I used to sit up in Joplin on Mickey Mantle's 7th hole, and he used to tell us stories all day long, but while he played the guys as they come around their golf carts in this charity tournament.
It's not valid anymore.
No. I remember when we were on the YouTube with Philly Captain, you were telling me about a game you were at where you saw 4 Hall of Famers. When was that?
Yeah, that was my first game, June
Oh, okay.
4th, 1960 in Candlestick Park in San Francisco. I saw Stan Musial, Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, and Orlando Cepeda, and they went a combined 0 for 10. The Giants, Jack Sanford beat the Cardinals 2-0, and Joey Amalfitano got the only double, and he drove in both runs to win it 2-0.
No, you guys got incredible memories. That's awesome. Just the times and the days and stuff.
I can't remember what happened on the
Yeah,
games we
I
just
know.
went to. Like,
Did you have any more stuff that you brought that you wanted to show us before we
yeah.
start wrapping things up?
What do you want to see?
Whatever you want to show us.
You want to see a Ty Cobb card?
Sure. Tilt it forward a little bit. The other way. There you go. Good job. Nice.
That's a 1919 coupon cigarette card, T213. It's a very rare card. It's probably worth, oh, you don't want to know what it's worth. It's very
Well,
rare.
Now, is that the same collection that the Honus Wagner card was in?
That's
The one
no,
that's
this
so
is a-
rare?
this is a coupon cigarette.
It's
Oh,
different.
okay.
Let me show you the
Back in the
T206.
early days, the baseball cards would come in cigarettes.
These are the T206s, like I sent you pictures of.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can
that's the
you-
T206s.
Okay.
Here, I'll hold one up. There's Hal Chase.
Bring it down a little bit, will you?
it's got a nice collar on.
There you go. Nice.
That's blue. Yeah.
Cool.
He's one of the players that gamble on baseball, but he didn't get kicked out like the Black Sox guys.
Oh,
But that set, the T206s, there's 524 cards in the set. I have 515 of the 524 cards.
hmm.
The T stands for tobacco
Yeah.
tobacco
Oh,
cards.
And T206 is Jeff Burdick's card number and letter designation for the set. He wrote the first catalog of baseball cards.
Okay. Hey, Wayne, let me ask you, can you define the grading system for us on like baseball cards, how they decide what the grade is? It's like 1 to 10, isn't it? Isn't that the grading for
Yeah.
those?
It's based off of what they would do in the early years of the grading coins. You know, a coin that was a 6 was more valuable than a coin that was graded a 5. So they had the same thing for baseball cards. Well, and other cards, sports cards. This is a what is this, Glenn?
Like Charizards, like
This
Charizard.
Yeah.
is a 1999 Charizard PSA 10, Gem Mint 10, and it's worth a bunch of money.
So if you were going to sell that, you would get more money than if it was graded a 2.
You'd get 5 digits for that thing because it's
Right.
a 10, the best grade.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, as much as I love baseball, man, I'm feeling more connection with that Charizard card.
Okay, here's another one. I've got this is the first 300 game winner in baseball, Bud Galvin,
Okay, who do you play for?
a bunch of teams. He played back in the 1870s and 80s and early 90s. He's the first 300 game winner in the major leagues. He had 14 kids and he died a pauper, and the town took up a collection to bury him.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's the first 300 game winner, and that's why I wanted a Bud Galvin card. And this is an 1887 Old Judge.
That's the cigarette.
Old
Okay.
Judge, 1887. That's
Wow.
a very rare card.
And he's holding a bat instead of pitching motion. But back then, men were men, and pitchers.
Well,
batted.
he's got 4 different poses. He's got pitching poses, batting poses. He's got them all.
I'm glad. Hey, Wayne, I'm glad you said that. I was going to ask you, what do you guys think about the new rules that they've implemented this year in baseball?
Love it.
I like the time. That's been in the rule book forever. That's a rodeo wiener card.
This is my favorite set of cards. The
You did-
1955 Rodeo Wieners.
You just
These
like to
were-
say that. That's all.
There's 49 cards in that set, and the 56 set has 57. Yeah, there's the the 56 set has 12 cards in it. They're very, very rare. They're scarce as hen's teeth.
They would be in your package of weenies. Your mom would buy at the store,
29-cent package of weenies.
and they would have this card on it. And it had a kind of a wax coating over it because, you know, the
Weenie juice.
yeah, the juice from the hot dog would sometimes run, and that would prevent the card from just being a wet mess.
Yeah.
But I like the timing. That's been in the rules for years, but they're just now making them enforce it. I like it. The Ghost Runner or the Manfred Man on second base,
No.
I think is stupid.
I hate it.
It's
Yeah.
something. It's something that you would do in children's leagues
Softball.
when you were running out of time and another team needed to take the field. That's not men.
It's not baseball.
That's not baseball. That's silly.
The
And
And the
Manfred
big
man.
bases, they like the big bases.
And
Wayne.
I don't like the big bases.
No, me
now-
neither.
I would be in favor of they have this in softball where they have two bases at first base, one in fair territory, one in foul, where the runner could continue and hit the base without knocking the first baseman over.
That'd be it. I wish that one was.
I
implemented.
would agree. I would agree on that one, like they're calling me up and asking me, but
Well, we
Manfred
are.
is
We
personal
technically
friend.
were calling you and asking you. So
yeah.
Wade
No,
knows Manfred very well.
no, I don't know Mr. Manfred.
I like,
I doubt if he'd want to speak to me.
I like the Ghost Runner. I'm gonna call him the Manfred Man from now on.
Yeah, that's
Put the
that's what's
Manfred Man on second.
Nope.
Tell him what we call the PSA holders, Wayne.
Oh, the PSA holders are what the grading company, you can see it here, if I can hold the card steady, where it says PSA there in red, on the
Mhm.
red.
yeah.
We call that the magic holder because their value will jump up many times over if they're in one of these plastic holders, graded than just a card.
Because they're
without-
supposed to be the leading authority on authenticating things,
Mhm.
and they miss the autographs from time to time. I
Well,
guarantee you.
more than once.
They miss the grading too.
Yeah, I've stood next to Nolan Ryan, and he signed a Hall of Fame plaque for me, and I sent it in to get it graded and everything. They came back inconclusive. I said I stood right next to him when he signed it, so I guess
So that's how they get out of it. They keep your money.
right,
They question the authenticity, but they don't say it's fake.
right.
Yeah.
So they don't say that, and of
So
course
they got your
and-
money. They
and-
don't give it
and
back
you,
to
yeah,
you.
you don't get your money back. So,
So
but
you send your card to them and then they grade it and they put it in the holder for you.
yeah,
and then send
we
it
call
back?
we call it the magic holder.
Because it makes everything double or
Yeah,
very a
value-
lot more valuable.
the value
Your
jumps.
watchers will know all about this thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what if you put a card in a holder on your own? I mean, that's just for
Doesn't do
protection.
anything to it.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be reputable. There's a couple of grading services out there that are known for grading anything and
And
giving
there's
it.
some other companies that are not very well known that are good graders as PSA. One of them's DGA, Dynamic Grading Authority.
They're
They're out of Illinois.
They're-
DGA.
they're an up and coming company that is really, really good. In fact, Glen and I have had some cards graded through that company. Been very, very pleased with them.
And they're a lot less expensive than PSA.
Right.
Mm.
DGA.
Yeah. DGA out of Illinois.
Look it up in the internet.
Good
and
people.
Check them out.
Awesome.
Good people. We recommend them.
Well, the last thing I want to piggyback on the rules. What do you think about the robot umpire?
Don't
No,
like it. No.
no.
Mm-mm.
We want that human touch.
Right.
I would agree.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, you know how technology is. We, trying to just connect on here was an issue. I can't imagine what if your robot umpire started glitching. I mean, what the heck?
Well,
you know?
Right. Well, what if the electricity comes out? You're going to pull. Is there going to be a standby man robot person sitting in the dugout? So
Well,
No.
I don't like the overturning a call either. That takes the human error out of the picture. But they still screw up when they revisit and decide
It takes-
whether guys safe or out.
it takes forever. They almost take as much as football does.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's supposed to, the pitch count is to lower the time of a game, and those checking out or safe calls take way too much time.
Right.
So just let it go natural. Let them
Yeah.
argue over it.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Well, hey guys, I know you made special arrangements in your day to join us, and we really appreciate it. And it was really fun for us to get to meet you guys and spend some of the time on the baseball trip with you. And Glenn, I don't mean this the wrong way, but you kind of became like the mascot on the bus trip. So
I did.
and it's really special to see your friendship because Wayne, I know you. I won't go into detail, but you know, Glenn, you had a little bit of a health issue or
That's
scare
correct.
there.
Wayne took care of me.
And
Yep.
Wayne, you know, gave up his time to see the game to make sure you're all right and spend time with you. And
That's
so
true.
it's really
Well,
awesome to see you guys friendship
you.
that's that strong and you guys got that tight of a bond. That's pretty awesome.
Amen.
Well, thank you. Well, Glenn, you didn't know Glenn needed some medicine when we got back to the hotel after that. So I took a,
Tell him where I went at City Field. I went in the emergency room.
he was in the emergency
They
room
thought
at
I had
Citi
a
Field.
heart attack.
Yeah. The highlight of that is we got to go past the Yankee clubhouse as we were wheeling him down the road there.
Hey, look, that's what the Yankees are.
And Glenn did not bring this. I wish he would have. I just now thought of it.
Oh yeah.
Glenn had his doctor and his nurses sign a baseball for him. So he has a ball signed by, and they thought it was great.
They took my echocardiogram 3 times because they swore that I had a heart attack. They took it 3 different times to make sure I didn't before they released me to go back up in the stands. But what my problem was, I was exhausted. It was the 7th day of the run of games and stuff. And you know how we ran.
Yeah.
And I was just exhausted. That's all it was. I didn't have a heart attack. I had the heart of an ox. I'm 74 years old. I have the heart of an ox, but I was exhausted.
Yeah. And then I took a $60 to get some medicine for him. We got back to the hotel. I took a $60 cab ride through deepest, darkest Newark, New Jersey to go get him some medicine. And a couple times I was wondering where we were going. It was dark, trying to find a 24-hour pharmacy.
And I had to pay him back too.
Yeah, I made
Well, you
paid him back.
better.
So yeah.
I don't blame you.
Anyway, but we appreciate you guys. You guys are a lot of fun. And,
Hey,
You're-
we'd be happy to be on any of your podcasts
right,
anytime, sir.
Well,
right.
thank you. I hope you guys help
I
us
hope-
get
I
the
hope
word out.
people
And,
enjoy it, and I hope they ask you all to have us back.
Yeah. Yo, baseball correspondence.
yeah, there you go.
Well, thank you.
World Series predictions before you go. I know you got the Rangers, Glenn. How about you, Wayne?
Well, I hope the Rangers win. I just don't know if they've got enough to overcome Houston and
Well, who do you think's going to win?
Tampa.
Houston,
Probably
Tampa, or Houston?
American League, probably Houston. And I don't like Houston because they cheated. And I will never
agree.
like Houston. I will never like Houston until all those players on that 17 team. Is that right? 17?
Yeah, including Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, are out of baseball. I don't like that. That was cheating.
I was Dallas Keuchel's pharmacist for his whole life. I was a
remember you saying
pharmacist for
that.
47 years.
Did you ask him if he cheated?
He did cheat. He apologized for it. He was the first Astro to apologize for cheating.
Nice.
Yeah,
So you think Houston?
Houston, American League, and the National League. I think it will be Atlanta. Atlanta.
But Texas is going to beat Atlanta.
Well, I hope so, but I don't think so.
I'll be at the games.
Nice.
You can do a live podcast
We'll be there.
from Glen from Glen at Arlington Arlington
You
Stadium.
give me one of those spinny cameras like the Philly captain has, and I'll go all through the stands at the World Series.
I believe it.
Mine written down. I had Astros over the Braves in the World Series at the beginning of the year.
There you go.
Hey, Nate,
But the rest of it's off. Don't talk about the rest of it.
if you guys buy World Series tickets in Texas, and it really happens, I'll be on your podcast every day and not charge you anything. How's that?
We're not charging
Such
you
a
now,
deal. That's a
unless
deal.
you did something.
That's a deal.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're
let's
gonna turn down this $250 a piece you're paying us tonight. So
well,
don't send don't send us the check, okay?
You have the decimal point in the wrong spot. It was $2.50 a piece.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
So you could buy some more Ritz
Well,
crackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ritz crackers.
You know what your talent is worth.
Yeah.
So come
Well-
back to see us anytime, guys.
All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we go, or?
Nope, just the Jay Buckley tours. If you're
Highly
a fan,
recommend it.
go online and it is terrific. It's
Yes, it's terrific.
great fun.
And
Let's see
pull for
let's
those
see your
best
shirt there,
pro-
Wayne. Let's see your shirt
Sir?
there. Lift your shirt up there. There you go.
Yeah.
Jay Buckley Tours. There it is.
Jay Buckley Tours.
All right.
Hey, I'll wear a Texas Ranger next time for you, the Texas Ranger hat. This is the Baltimore hat. got
I
from Baltimore.
recognize it. I recognize it.
Didn't you trade for that?
I traded for this. I traded a Jay Buckley tour hat for this hat.
Nice.
No, that was the Detroit hat. The other assistant traded me
Mike.
this hat. I had to buy him a Hall of Fame hat.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike, I had to buy
Yeah.
him a Hall of Fame hat.
It's a nice hat though.
Yeah. What was, do you guys
Well,
remember
you
what
guys-
Mike's last name was? We
Hopper.
mentioned him last pod and I couldn't remember his last
Hopper.
name. Was it Hopper?
It's-
Got it written down.
It's down. Wait a minute. Here it is. I just happen to have my Jay Buckley tour book,
Oh, nice.
and it is
Mike, drum roll. Come on, Wayne, find it. I hope we make the
This might be
magazine.
where we put the edit in.
Yeah, I hope our picture makes his book next year.
It says Hopper right here.
Hopper. Nathan's got it. He says it's Hopper.
I
Yeah.
told you last episode too,
Oh,
but it's okay. You
sorry.
don't listen to me. It's fine.
All right.
Todd, listen to your boy. He's a pretty smart guy.
yes, he is.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
He tells me that all the time. There you go. Jay Buckley Tours, highly recommended by Nathan and I and Wayne and Glenn.
Yeah, Jay's got to
That's
pay us for all
true.
this advertisement going on here.
Yeah. We need something from
We
him.
need free trips.
Maybe we need to try to interview Jay Buckley. Maybe we need to try to
Hey,
get him
Todd,
on.
There you go.
Todd,
Yes, sir.
I want to apologize to you. I can't remember what for. It was for something.
Well, you owe me more than one.
You got, I know.
Oh, okay. I apologize more than once.
All right.
Here, let me tap your shoulder.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we can't thank you
Come
guys
back
enough
in,
for
uh,
coming on. So we really
All right.
appreciate it.
Bye from Oklahoma.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Thanks,
See
guys.
you guys.
Bye.